Hello everyone and welcome to this month's episode of the Big Analytics Query. Today we are joined by Andrew Edge, a data and AI expert, to talk all new things Power BI and Fabric following the latest updates and release. So Andrew, thank you very much for coming on. Won't you talk us through some of the latest features?
So the first feature I'd like to talk about is Enhanced Semantic Modelling, which is a really exciting innovation regarding Power BI and how you do the modelling and some new features within that. So, for example, there's user-defined functions, there's a new calendar feature, there's enhanced modelling on the web portal as well. In addition to that, there's the ability to do Power BI as code, which is wonderful because I've got other days where we had to do source and version control on binary files. Now it's an open kind of format that you're able to utilize in source and version control and in fact do some automation and use AI to actually create some of the core visualizations and modeling within Power BI. So yeah.
So it sounds like from a developer's point of view, suddenly everything will become that little bit extra easier, calling functions across measures. And
yes, in particular, the user-defined functions enable you to write code once and then reuse it across Power BI and Fabric workspaces.
No more copy, paste, etc., etc.
Yes.
Go on.
Yeah.
Constant repetition.
Yeah, and that's really key. That the constant repetition, because often we can find that people are rewriting code, do it in different ways, different business logic. So it kind of really gets you to that one version of the truth quicker and easier, and also reduces the time to development as well. So it's an incredibly powerful feature.
And probably storage space as well within Power BI itself and the semantic models.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it reduces that. Yeah, definitely.
One thing that I've also seen is the geospatial features. Why don't you talk us through them?
Power BI has been generally very good at being able to visualize things geospatially, on maps and stuff like that. There's Azure maps that you currently have. There's other things like shape maps and stuff like that, which is great for the general kind of user. But there's a lot of kind of enhancements and stuff like that people want to do in mapping and geospatial analysis that they just can't do in those kind of more basic, let's put it, tools and stuff. And they will tend to go to something like ArcGIS for those. Well, that's a separate system solution that you have to bolt on usually to your data ecosystem, whereas ArcGIS now is available within Fabric itself in the same unified platform, which is really great.
So no more makeshift solutions, no more trying to just get it working. Now, what you can do on a report is suddenly that extra bit elevated, makes it look a bit sleeker and really report on what you want.
Yeah, indeed, and actually go a bit further than that in terms of actual analysis of the data sets themselves. So, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So, and more people are adopting kind of adopting geospatial analysis in what they do.
Well, you can imagine the reports that you see. Just adding that map feature on suddenly brings a lot of context to a lot of the data that you often see within various organisations. So it will just make a cleaner solution for all.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I do have to know is that at the moment you do have to bring your own ArcGIS license to it.
Yeah.
So it's not a free feature within Fabric, but I'm guessing there'll be more and more features that will be available on geospatial and geographical kind of analysis.
And what about also moving from Power BI to looking at Fabric as everything's going there and the development of the lakehouse? Here, materialized lake views are coming in.
Yes, that's right. So we've been very fortunate to have kind of materialized views in data warehouse for a while and in traditional kind of relational databases and other platforms. And what materialized views are is a kind of a persisted view of the data. So a traditional view would just create a kind of semantic layer on top of the data. No data is actually stored.
Just sits on a table query rather than an
actual physical thing.
Exactly. So I guess the lake views just get to do, as you say, that improve performance and make things a bit easier. And also within the Fabric, I hear it's becoming a bit easier for developers in knowing where things are with the new interface.
Yeah. I think there's at first I think kind of the user interface was developing, let's
Yeah,
say.
let's call it that.
Yeah, and there's constant improvements, like there is with all kind of applications and stuff like that, as they understand who's using it for what and how people work. So there is an enhanced UI. It's more friendly and easier to navigate. It improves kind of workflows and stuff like that, which is really, really great. And it just generally better to code it and deal with, makes
which is always what you want. You just want an easier place that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the particular features is that they've introduced the Copilot sidebar chat as well, which is really great. It's been embedded in more and more things nowadays. It's everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm sure there's going to be further developments as well in terms of the UI. So if you are frustrated with any element of it, just understand that Microsoft actually are constantly developing it and making it better and better and easier to use.
And I guess with that Copilot that you're talking about, definitely development is working side by side with AI now. So to have it all in one place just makes everything a bit more seamless.
It does, and there's a lot of people I think are using, Copilot outside of the applications and stuff, which is great. And then maybe do some code generation or something like that. That's a good example. And then having to put that into Fabric itself. We all do that with various different things, but it can be a bit clunky. So again, as you say, Tom, it's trying to create a seamless kind of workflow and stuff, so you're not having to switch between different applications.
And are there any other features that you particularly want to talk about in this update?
Yeah, there's one that I'm really excited about, which is custom SQL pools. Myself and Barney talked about this on the data forum and at various talks as well. I'm really excited by it because it's not something that's kind of invisible. We talked about a lot of the features that are kind of obvious.
Yeah, the ones you see, the new UI, etc. But this is underneath them.
Yeah, it is. So this follows custom Spark pools. So and it's the ability to be able to, on the fly, create a kind of custom cluster for doing certain workloads. So which are SQL or Spark workloads. Well, why that matters is because Fabric, as we know, is either a capacity-based solution. So you have a certain amount of compute available to you at a certain amount of time. And people often, that's great for some people and want predictable costs and stuff like that, but it often doesn't allow you, unless you really kind of set up your environment in the right way and configure it appropriately. It's not easy to flex the compute. So you've got to make it, beginning when you purchase it, you've got to kind of pick an F SKU that's appropriate.
And it's not always easy to work out what that should be from the start, is it?
No, it's not. It's a bit of a dark art and stuff like that. And if anybody needs any help with that, we can certainly support that. But what these custom pools are is a bit ability to say, I've got my Fabric capacity. Actually, I want to do something like maybe it's a piece of data science that's particularly complex and compute heavy, or maybe it's a bulk process, a ETL process you're doing in the morning or something like that. You can actually fire up custom pools to be able to do that on top of your Fabric instance.
So just isolated instances where it gets the extra sort of help it needs to complete your query.
Spot on, and that's just, you still have to pay extra for that, obviously.
Absolutely.
For free. But it just helps with planning and stuff like that.
So it sounds like there's a lot of flexibility with that and quite a few of the new features, and I'm sure there's even more that we've not spoken of yet. Is there one place where you get to see all the features and what's to come?
Yeah, there's the Fabric roadmap that's available from Microsoft. It's going to be in the description, the link to it, so you can have please do check it out. It's got probably about 100 different features, if not more.
Far more than this video can hold.
Yeah, absolutely. Some are smaller features and some are quite large ones, and it's constantly being developed. So, and if you need anybody needs any support with any of those features, understand what it is, what the impact is on your business, your organisation, how you use them. I urge people to get in touch and we can help them out.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your insight, Andrew, and thank you for watching. If you've got any questions about anything that we've said, do pop them in the description or the comments below and we'll be sure to get back to you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.